I've been very happily using the iFootage K5 Video Head, especially when I need a flat-based video head for sliders and things like that for a while now, and it's just a fantastically solid piece of gear, but it is relatively limited in the functions that are built into here in terms of counterbalance, drag settings, and things like that. What makes up for that is the fact that this is a really solid metal build. It uses Manfrotto style plates, which is really compatible with a lot of different systems across the board, and it's also really compact for what it can do. Other similar heads may be even double this size sometimes, even though they don't necessarily have more functions built in. Well, now iFootage has finally come out with the K7, which you can see is the literal big brother of the K5 here, with a lot more features and a higher payload, but retaining the full metal build, high performance, and even that Manfrotto style plate, but there's a few extra tricks to that as well, which are really welcomed. Today we're going to talk about all that this video head has to offer, together with the TC9 legs that I have here, which are another really solid pair of legs from iFootage that have a few tricks up their sleeve as well. So let's get into it. Hey, what's up? I'm Scott and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thank you for watching. We do all kinds of test reviews, unboxings, tutorials, anything photo and video related. So if you like the content today, please do consider subscribing and hit that little bell icon to make sure you get notifications when new content is uploaded. So getting right into it, there's a lot to love about this video head from iFootage, as well as the tripod legs, which I have here. So we're going to start off actually with a couple of these small negatives that I want to address, and then we can go on into just hammering through all of those amazing little features that this has built into it. Now this first point, I'm not sure if it's specific just to me or if it's something that's going to be present on all of the heads that go out, but I have passed back this feedback to iFootage, and so they are going to be taking a look at it and hopefully addressing it in the future, but it's not anything major or anything that affects the performance of the head, so don't worry. However, this drag knob here, as you turn it, tighten it for more drag, it hits a point where it feels like it wants to stop. Now, I'm sure it's hard to kind of convey that over the camera, but it feels like it wants to stop. And when I was doing that, I was kind of a little bit disappointed in the fact that it didn't feel like there was a huge range of drag adjustment on this head. But if you keep going, it kind of pushes past that point and then keeps tightening down a bit more. And once you do that, it does have an adequate amount of drag in there. So if you kind of feel like it's not going far enough, just push it a little bit more and you probably click past that point where it gets a little bit stuck, and then it does tighten down quite a bit. I have experienced something similar on a previous iFootage tripod that I've reviewed, where the screw to loosen the center column to raise and lower it actually got stuck. You push it past that point and then it continues loosening to raise and lower it. And again, it didn't affect the actual performance of the tripod, but it was something that if you weren't aware of could be a little bit frustrating. I also found the same issue on this little knob that you loosen to extend the pan tilt arm. So you can see here, if I turn it, it kind of gets stuck at one point, and then it kind of goes past that and completely loosens so you can extend this. Otherwise, this is really well made. It's very easy, has a good textured grip to it, but it does have that same pattern where it gets stuck at one point and then continues to loosen. So it's something that I noticed kind of in a few areas, and so I thought it might be worth mentioning. Now, another small complaint is something that you don't see on many video heads at this price point anyway, but the bubble level on here is not illuminated, and I would love it if that was, because it does make it easier to see, especially when you're in low lit situations. And the last point I want to talk about is just that in the past I have made a video talking about what I thought was the best budget video tripod, or the best video tripod under $500, which was from Terrace, the TCE. And I still think that's a great tripod, and I would definitely recommend it as well. But if you're wondering, do I recommend that, or do I recommend this new K7 from iFootage? It's a very hard call. I think they're very similar in terms of specs and capabilities and things like that. But what I really do love about the iFootage is that it has a flat base, which makes it great for sliders or setups where a flat base just makes things easier. And also it is compatible with Manfrotto tripod plates. With that aside though, and just being objective, if you're looking at one of these tripods or the other and you prefer it for whatever reason, the price that's available to you or some other reason, then I would say just go for it, because they are both fantastic tripods and they both do have similar specs. Anyway, talking about all of the awesome features that the K7 has feels a bit like reading off of a spec sheet, but let's go through those very quickly just to highlight why this is such a great video head, and I'm so excited to finally have it in my hands. So this video head has a max capacity of 7 kilograms for the counterbalance that's built into here, which is a 5-step counterbalance system. As you can see right here, you have 0 through 4, so that's 5 total settings. And the setup that I have on here right now is about 5.5 kilograms, and it balances well with about a 3 setting on the counterbalance scale, and then some drag dialed in as well, just to kind of help smooth things out where it's, not a perfect match, of course. You've got a flat base which you can screw onto the half bowl, which is in these TC9 tripod legs, which we'll talk about in just a second. And it does use a Manfrotto style plate. It comes with one that also has a little bit of a raised section, so if you're using smaller cameras with larger lenses and you need a little bit more clearance, that can help you out right there. And it has this really great, very quick and easy drop-in system. On this side here, we've got a very simple clamp. Just loosen that up halfway here, and you can slide your camera back and forth, tighten it down to clamp things in place. Now on the other side, you have this little tab that's clearly labeled push. Just push that down and you can lift the camera out. It is very, very easy to do. And then to put it back in here, just drop it in on the right side of the plate. Click it in and then latch it down. It's very quick and very easy. And honestly, I've used a few different quick release systems. This is by far the fastest and the easiest. While we're over here, you've got very, very robust rosettes here to connect the pan tilt bar, of course, on either side. And you've also got a space where you can store an extra screw for the tripod plate. I love having a place to store an extra screw. So if you're going back and forth between smaller and larger cameras, or just if you don't want to lose one, you can always store it right there, have it on hand, and you don't have to worry about going searching for it. Very, very small detail, but very, very useful. You've got a nice big rubber dial for that drag, which we talked about before. And we've got these locks that are similar to the K5, although larger and easier to grab to lock and unlock the tilt and the pan down here on the bottom. Going back to the other side here, you've got your dial for your 5-step counterbalance. Again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's very, very useful to have a stepped counterbalance system, so that way you can very quickly step down to 0 when you're putting your camera on here to make sure things are centered and balanced correctly before you dial that in. And then if you're using the same camera rig as before, you can just jump back to the setting that you know is correct, or you can play around and find what works best for you very, very quickly and easily. Finally, you've got a smaller version of that rubber knob to dial in the drag for the pan axis here on the bottom. So I've removed the camera just so you can see a little bit better as I go through a couple of the key points of what these legs have to offer. As you can see, they are the single tube style legs. They are carbon fiber in this case. This is the Gazelle TC9. Again, iFootage does have a range of different tripods. I believe they have aluminum and carbon fiber, as well as different heights and different numbers of leg sections, giving you a different minimum height when you fold it all down. But this is the TC9 legs, and I want to show you a few of the cool key features here. Now this comes with a half bowl here, so that way you can put this flat base video head right on top of there. And of course, after that, it works like a typical video head would, where you can loosen this down here and get things level, and then tighten it back so that way when you're panning, you have a nice level pan across whatever you're recording. But usually with this style, if you want to remove this whole head, you have to unscrew this 20, 30 times. And then if you put it back on, you have to find the hole and screw it back in 20, 30 times again. It's time consuming and kind of annoying. But with this design here, you can just very slightly loosen this on the bottom, push this quick release button, and boom, you've got this all off in a matter of seconds. Putting it back on is just as easy as that. Another cool and small detail about these legs is that when you fold them all up, you can fit your fingers in here without getting them squished. So if you're picking this up and you fold the legs down, you don't have to worry about squishing your fingers in between that center, not center post, but the bottom part of that ball head and the actual leg, which can often happen, and it can hurt for sure, especially if you have a heavy camera on top, or if you're carrying this over your shoulder. That's nice to be able to know your fingers are not going to get pinched in there. Now on the bottom we've got some rubber feet, but these can just simply screw away to reveal some spikes. So if you're going outdoors, you've got the spikes right there. You don't have to switch anything out. They're built right in. And as of now, these feet are not user replaceable, but it would be great if they did actually add that capability to just completely remove this, spike rubber foot combination, maybe replace it with longer spikes, or even replace it with wheels, which would be really fantastic, or a floor level spreader. Just have that kind of capability to go and switch this up on a user level. Maybe they could sell more accessories that way too. So for them, it would be kind of a win-win situation. But as of now, you've got these quick retracting rubber feet to reveal those spikes for both indoor and outdoor use. Other than that, these legs are very, very normal for iFootage tripod legs, and I mean that in a good way. The locks have always been and still are very, very easy to operate, and they're very tight and secure. And even though this doesn't have any kind of mid-level or floor level spread or anything like that, I haven't had any problems with any twisting when panning, for example. They're a very, very solid pair of legs, and I think they're a really great match for this head, which can hold up to 7-kilogram cameras. So while I haven't mentioned it yet, the performance of the actual video head, of course, is very, very smooth. I would like if there was a little bit more in the way of drag, that you could dial it in just a little bit more heavily, but as it is, it's a very good, decent range, and everything works very, very smoothly. So we'll put a couple of quick sample test footage video clips over this as I'm talking now, just to show you the performance in terms of smoothness, but it's a really, really great piece of gear, and I would highly recommend it. So if you're looking for something for a medium to larger camera setup, I guess that's what would qualify as 7 kilograms, then this is a great choice for you, especially if you want something that uses Manfrotto plates, that is quick and easy to use, and also has a flat bottom, which could work well with sliders and things like that. Otherwise, if you have any questions or comments, please do be sure to let me know down below, and I will do my best to get back to you. If you like this video or found it helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, thank you for watching.